Good morning, everybody. Good morning, it's JPR, and welcome back to another video. Of course, this is the first video of the Gen 9 era, and what better way to kick things off than with a tier list of all the Gen 9 Pokemon. Now, full disclaimer, please don't take this too seriously. I don't even take myself seriously half the time. I mean, you never know. I could wake up next Friday, and a Pokemon that I have in F tier could go all the way up to S tier, so who knows? Also, I know I'm gonna say this like a million times in this video, but the names this generation, mwah, they are so good. It's like this perfect hybrid of like Mimi Gen Z slang and some Spanish terms, and yeah, it's just really good. But before that, a quick word from today's sponsor, the Ridge Wallet. I've been using my Ridge Wallet for a few weeks now, and I really just enjoy how compact and how durable it is. Listen to that. Listen to how durable that is. Customization is also something that I really value, and this comes in a ton of different colors. And on top of that, it stores 12 cards, which is like double what my last wallet could hold. And they also sent the Ridge key case. Again, comes in various different colors. It holds all your keys nice and tightly, so they don't really like jingle around, especially when you're driving. I always hate the noise that the keys make. They also don't dig into my pants whenever I put them in, so yeah, this is really handy. So if you've ever wanted to try the Ridge wallet or the Ridge key case, there is no better time than right now, because using my link in the description down below, ridge.com/JPR, you can get 40% off through December 22nd. That's ridge.com/JPR. Okay, first I'm gonna change all the colors because I never like how they have the red at the top. Red is supposed to be bad. Okay, there, that looks a lot better. I think I'm gonna save the Paldean forms for later. I'm surprised that there's only like 4 of them. Technically 2, I mean there's like 3 Tauruses, but yeah, that's kind of crazy. Sprigatito, I think it's pretty nice. I mean, it's cute, it's serviceable, it's everything that you kind of expect out of a nice little cute cat Pokemon, so I don't got too much to say. A tier. Florigato. Okay, well, they didn't pull any punches with this guy. I mean, they were just like, hey, he's standing up on 2 legs, so you better prepare yourselves early. We're not gonna fake you out like you do with Torracat and Incineroar. And yeah, that may have been a lot of people's worst nightmare come true. I'm sure a lot of people wanted Sprigatito to stay on all 4s, but oh well, it's just kind of the way that things are going nowadays. But to be honest, I really like it. It's kind of like a green Zeraora, and that's not a bad thing. I think Zeraora is a great Pokemon, it's just that it didn't really have any in-game content, so I don't blame them for trying to get as much mileage as they can out of a really good design. I think this is one of the slickest looking mid-stage starters that we've had in a very long time. I'm gonna go ahead and plop him in S tier. Meowscarada. Now, again, I'm sure a lot of people don't like this thing. Personally, I kind of think of Nia from Xenoblade 2 when I see it, so I have like a little bit of a soft spot. I think as far as a lot of the humanoid starters go, this one is definitely not that offensive. B or A? This is kind of tough. You know what? I'll be nice. I'll drop him an A. We'll go with that. Alright, I'm just gonna do the whole Fuecoco line all at once because I have to talk about how amazingly inspired this entire evolution line is. First of all, obviously you have Fuecoco, who's shaped a little bit like a chili pepper, so he's got that Spanish vibe going for him. On top of that, his face kind of resembles a mask from Dia de los Muertos, which is like a Hispanic version of Halloween where they honor the dead. So right off the bat, this Pokemon has some really good theming for this region in particular. Then you have Crocolore, who kind of builds on that. He has like a sombrero made out of flames, except it's not only a sombrero, it's actually a nest for a fiery egg that he has on the top of his head. Which of course, when he evolves into Skeledirge, that egg hatches into a little bird that sits on his snout and then also his head, and it's a classic example of like the crocodile and the bird mutualism thing that they have in nature. Also, there's like some sort of Egyptian lore kind of woven into this as well. Again, Fire Ghost ties into the holiday very nicely. And then he's got like a little like singer motif baked into him as well, so he's not entirely free of that whole like human approach that the newer gens are taking with these starters, but by and large, it's definitely an alligator first and a singer second, which I really like. I don't know about you guys, but I think this is one of the most creative and most inspired evolution lines of this entire generation, maybe in the entire franchise, bare minimum top 5. And you know, maybe I'm biased just because I'm a Red Croc enjoyer, but you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and plop all 3 of these goons in the S tier. So the person who designed this evolution line, pat yourself on the back. This was done superbly. Up next is Quaxley, who I will admit is definitely my least favorite of the 3 starters. I think his design is just a little bit plain, especially since we've had the water duck been done so many times before. But I'll admit, I definitely warmed up to him in-game, especially seeing him do like the little like hair thing in the first cutscene. That was really nice. I like Pokemon that have a lot of swagger in their personality, kind of like Krokorok and Crocodile. I like Crocs, can you tell? And Quaxley definitely fits the bill, and I think it makes up for his mostly plain design, so I'll put him in B tier. Quaxwell, once again, love the name. I think this definitely does build on Quaxley's design pretty well. It's a good looking Pokemon. I don't have a ton of experience with it in-game, but it's enough to raise it to an A tier. And finally, Quaquaval. No, I am not stuttering, that is his actual name. I will say, in a generation that has a lot of great names, this is not one of them. I will say, the color palette on this Pokemon, ooh, really satisfying. A lot of people don't like how this guy looks in motion, which I'm gonna say, come on, you guys were complaining about how the models were so static for like the last 3 gens, so it's like now we have a Pokemon that actually moves a lot because he's a dancer. You're gonna say he moves too much? No. I will say, the running animation that I've seen, it's a little bit extra. I can leave that behind. I do think the design is a little bit messier than the other 2 though, so I don't know if I can put him in the A tier. I also just have very limited experience with this guy, so I'll put him back in B with Quaxley. Lechonk! Alright, you guys are gonna hate me for this, but he is your average Route 1 normal type with a funny name, so he goes in C tier. Oinkologne, I think that's how you say it. I will say this Pokemon definitely separates itself from the Route 1 normal type crowd by having 2 different forms, and I think both of them are pretty aesthetically pleasing, so you know what, I'll raise them up to B tier. I know people are probably going to be mad about me putting those in the same tier as Quaxley in his final evolution, but oh well. Dunsparce, alright, I'm gonna be real, and the names don't hit this generation, they really don't hit. We waited 22 years for perhaps the most underwhelming Pokemon of all time to finally get an evolution, and was it worth it? Not really. Maybe it was all the fan art that I've seen online for decades, but you know what? I had to think that Dunsparce evolution, when he finally got one, it was gonna be cooler than this. I mean, like, I didn't think it was gonna turn into a big serpent dragon thing, but, you know, I expected him to be, like, first of all, not mono-normal. That was a huge disappointment. Easily could have been normal ground, normal dragon, normal fairy, something like that, but just not normal. And then the design is just like 2 Dunsparces put together. I mean, and sometimes 3. Apparently there's like a 3-segment form. I haven't seen it yet, but I've heard about it, so you know what? D tier for the Dunsparce. Not worth the wait at all. Tarantula! I don't like spiders. I don't know about you guys. And I don't think the spider Pokemon are particularly good. So, also D tier. Spidops! Alright, this Pokemon is not good at all, but he looks kinda cool for a spider. And I will admit, when I first saw him roaming in the wild, I was like, yo! That is a pretty hype-looking grasshopper. And then I found out he's not a grasshopper. I found out he was Tarantula's evolution, so I would have probably put him B tier, but I'll go C. Nimble, alright, it's just a bug, let's be real, C tier. His evolution though, Lokix, I don't know what the pronunciation is. This is a solid A tier, I think. First bug dark type, which is very cool, and he looks more like sci-fi than anything. It's a really cool idea for a bug type to evolve into. The Dung Beetle, I honestly don't remember his name. I only had it for like 5 minutes. Regardless, I think a Dung Beetle is a pretty cool idea for a Pokemon, so I think he's above Nimble. I'll probably put him in B. It's neat, it's original. His evolution, whose name I also just had to look up, Rabsca. Sorry, I'm not too familiar with this Pokemon, but I will say, I absolutely love the evolution method where it's like you have to walk with him for 1,000 steps and like he's just gonna roll in his little ball, and it kind of implies like through his insane manual labor that he achieved like nirvana, like he just like became enlightened, and I really like that. Apparently like his body isn't like his actual real body, it's like his astral projection or something like that. It's kind of goofy, but I like it. I'll put him in A tier. Greavard! Oh, easy S tier. Need I say more? Did you guys see that trailer? Admittedly, it is really sad thinking that it's just like a dead dog that wants to play with humans because it didn't get the chance to while it was alive, and it kind of tugs on your heartstrings a little bit. It almost reminds me of Mimikyu in a way. It's like you can't help but feel sorry for this Pokemon, so I feel like a lot of people just love it out of that. Houndstone, I can't really get over the crimson chin. It's not my favorite design element. I'll drop it in A tier, because if I put it any lower, the Pokedex entry crops up in my mind where it's like, this is the most loyal of all the dog Pokemon, and it's just gonna make me feel really bad. Flittle, I'm pretty neutral on this thing. I don't have any strong feelings one way or the other. C tier. Now, Espathra. Alright, now this was a Pokemon that I did not see evolving from Flittle. I just caught it out in the desert, and then it, like, slotted into my decks right after Flittle, and I was like, huh. That was unexpected. I will say, though, a super rad design, probably my favorite Psychic type this generation. I kinda sorta wish that he was, like, Psychic Ground or Psychic Flying, but, you know, pure Psychic's not bad either. I'll drop him in the A tier. Farigiraf. Okay, now this is an evolution that definitely didn't disappoint. I know a lot of people thought that he should be, like, Psychic Dark, but I'm fine with it. I think it's a good improvement on Girafarig. I'm gonna put him in the A tier as well. Wiglet. Okay, I'm gonna be real. I do not like the regional fakes at all, especially since they have the exact same stats as their original versions. And I said on the Champion League podcast a while ago, if you guys listen to that, if you don't, you should go listen to it. But I said a couple weeks ago when this thing was first revealed, I was like, yeah, I bet these will only be done for the Gen 1 Pokemon. And lo and behold, I was right. Just another way to repackage the same crappy Gen 1 Pokemon that we're all tired of, and it doesn't do anything for me. F tier. Okay, Wugtrio, again, not a big fan of the regional fake concept, but I will say this one is at least a little bit different, and I do think it kind of improves on the original Dugtrio design, so I'll put him in C tier. Alright, woo, hey, time skip, because I actually hadn't finished the game when I was coming up on this next Pokemon, and I was like, I should probably do that, so I also had to change my layout, because I was like, I'm probably gonna run out of space pretty soon, so just ignore everything up until now. Anyhow, we're probably gonna do the Paldeans because I'm kind of tired of looking at them. Tauros, I predicted this guy to get an evolution, and I was a little bit off base on that, but you need to get a form, which is kind of nice. I like it. I like all the different breeds. I'm just gonna rank them all as one. I don't have the other two on here, so, I'll give a solid A tier. I think Fighting type actually works really well for Tauros to the point where he really doesn't need an evolution. And the two other breeds with Fire and Water, pretty cool concept. Paldean Wooper, honestly a pretty good design. It's not doing anything crazy though that the original Wooper didn't already do for me, so I'll go B tier. As for Clodsire, kind of like a step down from Quagsire. I feel like Quagsire's just gonna be the better of the two, but I feel like design-wise, it's still pretty good. I'll also put it in the B tier. Hey guys, future JPR here. Just wanted to say that I was completely off base, and Clodsire is actually really good, so just ignore everything I said and pretend that he's an A tier. Dondozo, I think that's his name. Maybe I'm missing a letter in there. I have no clue. I think it's Dondozo. But anyway, I kind of like this guy's relationship that he has with Tatsugiri. I think that's what it's called. Pretty neat Pokemon. There's not a lot of good water types in this region, but the ones that are good, they kind of hit. You know what? I'll bump up to A. A seems pretty good for him. Veluza, this is another one that I like, but not like a lot, so I guess I'll go with B tier. Palafin, oh my god, they finally did it. They actually finally did it. They gave us the dolphin Pokemon that we were all waiting for, and he's super cute. They hit the nail on the head here. This easy S tier, easy S tier. As for Palafin, base form, I will say, like, it's a little disappointing. I know, how can I say that when I just put the regular one up here in S tier? But, like, I kind of wish it was a little more different other than just getting, like, the little heart on its chest, but it's still good. I'll put it in A, but as for the super goofy, like, superhero thing, kind of reminds me of, like, Mermaid Man from SpongeBob in a way. I don't know if I like it near as much as regular Finizen, but it's really solid and I like the gimmick. Tadbulb, it's cute, it's a unique spin on a concept that we've already seen done before, so I'll also go with B tier. As for Bellibolt, part of it is still like a little unsettling to me, but there's also parts of it that I really like, so I'm gonna be boring and also put it in B tier. The Smoliv evolution line, I'm gonna be real, I didn't even see these last two when I played through the game. I just got them on my decks like yesterday. They're fine though, they look like serviceable grass types. They're not very good, which is my one gripe with them. I tried using one and I was like, nah, it's really slow. I'm not a big fan of using it in battle, but design-wise, I really like all three of them. Capsakid. I really like the idea of a chili pepper Pokemon. I'm gonna put him in, I don't know, A seems a little high. I'm also gonna put him in B tier. I really can't decide whether or not I love or hate Scovillain. My initial reaction to him was like, ugh, but also like, first ever fire grass type, really cool type combo. Again, really like the whole chili pepper motif. I like the different colored heads. It would have been better if they had the fire moves come out of the red mouth and the grass moves come out of the green mouth. Maybe that was a little too complex for them. We just got to the point last gen where finally Blastoise could shoot water out of his cannons with the G-Max form, so I don't know, maybe it's a few years away from happening. I'll put him in A tier for now. He really grew on me, but not quite to the point of S tier. Charcadet, this guy is really, oh, well, that is not the right Pokemon. Charcadet, alright, let's try that again. That is a solid S tier for me as well. That is a really cute little guy. I like the branched evolution concept, and yeah, he's cool. Armarouge, alright, so pre-launch, I wasn't like a huge fan of this guy, because A, I'd already picked Fuecoco as my starter, so I was like already kind of like, I'm not going to use any of the fire types, and I'm not a generally big fan of a lot of the humanoid Pokemon, but he's another one that kind of grew on me, so I'll put him in. You know what? I'll go A. I'll go A. Ceruledge, yeah, this Pokemon's dope. I did not pick Violet. I picked Scarlet, but yeah, I am a little bit envious of that one. That one is actually really cool. Orthworm. Okay, now this is one of those Pokemon where I'd say that the size actually matters, because like the Titan form, I was kind of like, all right, I can get behind it, but like the little guy, I was like, it's a little underwhelming, so probably gonna go D. I'm not a huge fan of Orthworm. I feel like he needed an evolution or something. He's just a little too bland for my liking. Toadschool. I like the name, but again, just stick to regional variants. Like, there is nothing wrong with regional variants. The regional fakes, I'm not a big fan of them. F tier. That seems a little harsh. It might be an F tier. No, okay, wait, I saw the meme on Twitter comparing him to, like, the walking jellyfish from SpongeBob, and that's enough to bump him up to B tier, or D tier, sorry, B tier's way too high. As for Toadscruel, a little bit better, kind of like Wugtrio. It improves on the design, like, a little. Actually, I don't even know if it improves on the design. It's probably not as cool as Tentacruel, but it's okay. It's like a little more unique. It's not exactly the same like Toadschool is, so I'll go C tier. Nectly, he just kind of looks like a little Mario mushroom, but made of rock. Nothing too special. I'll go C tier. This little guy looks like kind of a Minecraft animal. No strong feelings one way or the other.
No strong
also
feelings
C tier.
one way or the other.
Garganackle, I think that's his name. Garganackle, something like that. I have no clue. I haven't memorized most of the names yet, so give me some time with these. I'll go A tier, actually. I think as far as, like, mono rock types go, it's a really, really cool looking final stage. Oh, my boy Varoom, the little NASCAR buddy. Okay, as much as I'd love to put this thing in S tier, I gotta be realistic. I will say that Steel Poison is a huge redeeming factor. I absolutely love the typing. He's a little goofy. I kind of like the goofy Pokemon sometimes. Sometimes they're a little too goofy for my liking, but I feel like this one hits a nice sweet spot. I'll go in B. I'll go B. As for Revavroom, though, Revavroom or Revaroom, don't correct me in the comments. I'm gonna look it up. Guys, I swear I'm gonna look it up. I'll have them memorized by next week. Yeah, he's an A tier. He's also, like, very, very goofy, but he feels more like a Pokemon and less like a little machine part like Varoom does, so A tier for sure. Also, I love battling the cars in the Team Star bases. That was a really creative idea with this Pokemon as well. Tandemaus, 2 words. Who cares? D tier. Evolution. Mousehold. Good name, but not much else, and I really don't care to look up the whole inspiration behind it. It's just mice that get more mice, and actually, you know what? The evolution's an F tier. The evolution is actually worse. It's, like, the gimmick is like, oh, it can have different amount of children or whatever, and I don't know. It's so lame. It's so lame to me. Like, I could completely miss this Pokemon. I wouldn't be missing out on anything at all. Okay, I feel like I might be on an island here, but Citadel is, like, the cutest Pokemon introduced this gen. That is an easy S tier for me. Very charming, especially for an ice type. They don't really have, like, a ton of cute ice types, so he sticks out. He's really good. I like him. Even Cetitan. I feel like this is a very hot take. I like Cetitan. He kind of reminds me of, like, the Titans from Xenoblade 2. Wow, 2 Xenoblade references in one video. I'm getting a little ahead of myself here, but I'll go A tier. I know it's probably way higher than most people have him, but I really like Cetitan. Then we have the pseudo-legendary, the Ice Dragon type, which first stage, kinda ugly, not gonna lie. He's going in the D tier. Not a big fan of him, but his evolutions are much, much better. I really like this guy, Arctabax. Maybe I don't really like him. I like him a decent amount. I feel like the design is maybe a little more simplistic than I would have expected from a pseudo-legendary second stage, but, I don't know, I'll go B tier, Baxcalibur, once again, another amazing name. I love the name of this Pokemon. Also, again, Ice Dragon type, really cool type combination. It's like the second batch of Pokemon to have this type combination after the Kyurem forms, so, ooh, I'll go A tier, because again, I feel like they could have done a little bit more with the design, as I feel like as far as pseudo-legendaries go, there's something missing. I can't put my finger on it, but there's something missing. But regardless, the cry. I love the cry. He sounds, like, majestic. Also terrifying at the same time. When this Pokemon comes out in the battlefield, it, like, installs fear in people. I don't know what it is. And his signature move where he, like, gets on his head and just glides towards you. Super funny. I love it. Tatsugiri, it doesn't do a ton for me. It's just a little fish guy. I mean, every generation's gotta have a little fish guy. I would put him C, but I feel like, again, his evolution, or not his evolution, but, like, his mutualistic relationship with Dondozo boosts him up a little bit. I like the Titan fight. I'll give him a B tier. Also, Water Dragon, that is a relatively uncommon type combination, so he gets a point for that as well. Cyclizar, I kinda wish the story did like a little bit more with this guy. I'm a little disappointed on that front, but he's a pretty solid dragon type. I'll go A tier. Okay, so hear me out. Palmy, I don't like Pika clones. I don't like this one either. I'm going C tier. You know, there's a Pika clone in every generation. Stop trying to make me care about the Pika clones. They're the same thing every time. Except, this guy has something that sets him apart. That being that he is the first Pika clone to actually evolve, which I will say is going to elevate Palmo to a B tier, even though it's like relatively the same design. Like he just stands up basically. That's all he does, and he has like super swole arms for whatever reason. But I like him. He's gonna go B tier, and I'll even put the evolution even higher. I think also electric fighting for the last two stages, super dope type combination. I can't believe that's the first electric fighting type that we've gotten, so really like that as well. Just the fact that we have a Pikachu that finally evolves. It feels like we finally have something we can do with these guys. And also, again, electric fighting, very good. Okay, Tinka, whatever it's called, again, guys, I'm gonna look it up, don't yell at me, but Tinka, first stage, whatever, it doesn't do a ton for me. Like, sure, Steel and Fairy is a really, really good type combination. It doesn't even look like a hammer in the first form. It looks like a little microphone. I don't know. And also, out of all the Pokemon in this region, to get a 3-stage evolution in a region where like 90% of the evolutions are like only 1 or 2 stage Pokemon, out of all the ones to get 3 stages, it was this family. I don't know. I feel like the middle one is probably a C tier. I don't know what they're based on. What are they based on? I mean, like just gnomes? Like little garden elves? Is that what they're supposed to be? Is that literally just it? Like, I don't know. Maybe I'll research it. Maybe I'll find out. Maybe I'll come to like these guys a little bit more. But I feel like they could have just started with the middle guy. They probably could have cut out the first stage, because I feel like, I don't know, the evolution, like, I've seen the evolution roaming around, and I'm like, it just looks like the same Pokemon to me. But anyhow, Twitter absolutely loves this guy, and I will say it has also grown to me quite a bit. I'll even jump past B tier. I'll go A tier. Again, Fairy Steel kinda carries, and also I just kinda love, like, the whole trope of, like, little feminine things holding giant hammers. It's a trope that shows up in, like, a lot of RPGs, and I don't know why. I just like it every time. So yes, even though I complained a lot about the first 2 stages, I think the final stage is actually really, really solid. Bombardier! I assume that's how you say it, because it's based on, like, Bombardier, but, man, this thing would have been a lot better if it was, like, rock flying type, instead of just, like, diet Mandibuzz. Because I feel like we don't get a lot of rock flying types. It's just, like, Aerodactyl and Archeops and Minior. That might be it. So I would have liked to see him be rock flying, especially with his whole, like, Titan gimmick thing. Regardless, though, I really do like the design. I kind of like the whole, like the stork carrying, like, a baby, except instead of a baby, it's just a giant boulder that kills you. So, I'll go B tier. There, I just shrunk myself so you guys can see the C tier a little bit better. Thank me later. Anyhow, watch roll. Is this technically the regional bird? I guess? I don't know what else would be the regional bird, because none of the other birds, like, evolve in this region, so... I guess as far as regional birds go, probably the best one. I'm gonna be real. Electric flying, super dope. Also put Kilowattrel in the A tier as well. I think they're both really, really good. And I just lost my F tier on here. I'm gonna have to change that. Please pardon how remarkably scuffed this video is. I'm just changing, like, the shape of the tier list, like, every 5 seconds, it feels like. Squawkabilly. It's an F tier. Man, why? It's just a bird with 4 color palettes. They did that with Oricorio, but better. It doesn't evolve, it's just, I wanted to like it. I wanted to like it when I first saw this thing. I thought it would be the regional bird, I thought it would have some evolutions, but it's just the same bird with 4 color palettes, what's the point? But you know what bird is actually dope though? Flamigo. Just for the name alone, he's in the S tier. And also just the hilarious factor that he's like a Pokemon with a base 500 stat total that you can catch on like the first area at like level 3. I was a little bit let down by the fact that he doesn't evolve. And when I found out he didn't evolve, I was like, okay, I gotta take you off the team. But regardless, I love him. It's just the fact that he's so cracked, he's a fighting flying type, you can get him super early, and he's just a flamingo. He's literally just a flamingo, and his name is Flamigo. This might be the best Pokemon this entire generation. You know what? I'm gonna move him above all the others. He's going, if there was a double S tier, if I could fit it on my screen, there would be, and it would just be Flamigo. This is the best Pokemon this entire generation. And now we're going from the best Pokemon this generation to the worst. Cloth, I'm sorry, Cloth fans. I know there's like a devout Cloth fan base out there. I don't like him. There are so many ugly crab Pokemon out there. I mean, like, even Kingler, like, he's, like, ugly, but he's like cartoon ugly, you know, to the point where it's like, oh, he's kind of funny. No, this guy's just ugly. He's just hideous. I'm tired of getting, first of all, there's way too many crab Pokemon. We got crab Pokemon, like, almost every single generation, and they just keep getting worse. I don't, when is it gonna stop? When is it gonna stop? They peaked with Kingler and Crawdont, and it's just been going downhill ever since. Stop with the crab Pokemon. I'm done. This thing, I don't know its name. I literally just found it. I only saw it one time. It's a C tier. Yes, the tier list just changed shape again because I realized you couldn't see that. But anyhow, we're gonna move on to Glamora, which is the Pokemon that probably had the most potential this generation. I don't know whether this Pokemon is gonna be like super cracked or super bad. Like Rock, is it Rock Fairy? No, it's Rock Poison. It's Rock Poison. Rock Poison, it's unique, but it just feels bad. It just feels bad, and it's a cool design. It's super underwhelming in the last fight. It just, the toxic debris is a cool ability. Its signature move is a cool move. I really want to put this thing in A tier, but I feel like I just can't. I feel like it's a B tier. Shroodle, I'm gonna be brutally honest, I did not see this guy evolving into Grafaiai. That was definitely catching me off guard. I'm not too hot on this guy, I'm gonna put him in D tier. As for Grafaiai himself, first of all, dope type combination, normal poison, never been done before. I know that the pre-evolution has that too, but let's be honest, the final form is all that counts. We all know this. But anyhow, cool Pokemon. I really like the idea that it's the first II Pokemon. Again, the poison punk graffiti thing, it works. It's just good. Now, I'll be real. I kind of lost hope in Fido when I saw the other dog Pokemon. And I was like, yo, the dog Pokemon are kind of running away with it this generation. Fido kind of got left behind. So I was going to put Fido in B tier, which I guess I still am. But as for the evolution, Doxbun, he didn't make the team because he didn't have like a solid place for a fairy type in my team, but I'm gonna go with S tier. I really like this guy and his ability. Like the well-baked body where he's like immune to fire. Super, super dope. The dog Pokemon, they slayed this gen. What can I say? The dog type Pokemon, they slayed. Even Mastiff, I mean, he's literally like just a Mastiff, but like he's kind of goofy. I'll put him in B tier. Mabostiff. Now, Mabostiff is like this weird enigma where it's like he is supposed to be intimidating, but like, does anybody else think that he's like really cute at the same time? Like this Pokemon, like he switches between like cute mode and like super fierce mode like on a whim, and I don't know how they did it. Does anybody else get that impression of this Pokemon, or is it just me? Regardless, I really like it, and I also really just love the whole storyline with Mabostiff in-game. If you know, you know. And just generally, the idea of combining a mob boss with a Mastiff, I don't know who thought of that, but that was just a great idea. A tier. The Tumbleweeds, C tier. Moving on. Gimmighoul, man, I really wanted to like Gimmighoul. I thought the idea of like a Pokemon hiding in a chest was super cool, but just, I don't know, the fact that there always has to be one. There always has to be one Pokemon, it feels like, that just can't do anything. Like, he only learns, like, Tackle and Astonish. Maybe he gets moves from TMs. I don't know. I didn't really play around with him that much, but I don't know. It just doesn't feel like he's that good. He's just a scavenger hunt Pokemon that's super hard to evolve. I hate the 999 coins thing. I think it could have been 500. It would have been fine, but I'll go D tier. As for his evolution, he do have the raddest Pokedex picture in the entire game, where he's like riding on the gold snowboard. That falls under picks that go hard. That might be the hardest Pokedex picture in the entire game. Just for that, I'll bump him up to C tier, but other than that, there's not a ton that I have to say about him. Annihilate, okay, S tier. First of all, another amazing name, Annihilate. Who thought of that? Really, you're great. You're goated. And the fact that he like kinda ties in with the Sun and Moon dex entry where it says that Primeape can get so angry that he literally dies, and that's basically what happens. He dies. He becomes a ghost fighting type, which is also super, super dope. I think it's the second one behind Marshadow. So yeah, easy S tier. King Gambit. Oh man, the S tiers just keep coming. This, I did not think that Bisharp of all Pokemon was gonna get an evolution this gen, but I was pleasantly surprised. He has a bonkers ability, and I don't know if he's gonna get banned, because it feels like you could just click Sucker Punch and just kill people, but regardless, super, super, super cool Pokemon. I really like him. Great Tusk. Okay, I'm gonna be real, I don't like the names of all the Paradox Pokemon. Whenever I get them, I just instantly rename them to what the actual Pokemon is. Like, I caught a Great Tusk, and I just named it Donphan, because I didn't want to call him Great Tusk. But first of all, first ground fighting type, another first type combination for this gen. Very nice. I'll drop in an A tier. I think that the Primal Donphan looks a lot better than the Cybernetic Donphan. I'm gonna be real, I just don't like the Cyborg Pokemon, like, at all. I'm not a big fan of any of them. I feel like they're just kind of lame. I feel like the Pokemon they selected for Violet are way cooler, though. I feel like look at Amoonguss here. Look at Amoonguss. Perfect example. Or whatever his name is. Brute Bonnet. Like, I'm never like in the shower thinking, man, I wonder what Amoonguss looked like in ancient times. Like, no, nobody cares. Why was this selected? Why did they get Hydreigon and Tyranitar and Gallade and we get Amoonguss? Man, I mean, it's a C tier. It's a C tier. Sandy Cheeks or whatever it's called. Again, like, this is a Pokemon that should have probably gotten a future form, and I feel like it could have been done a lot better, but instead, we get a Primal Magneton, which is like a Pokemon that I wouldn't have even considered having an ancient form, which I guess some people might say it's a good thing. I'm saying it's a bad thing. I'll put him in C tier as well. Again, a Jigglypuff, it's weird. It's off the wall. Why? Miss Drevis, did ghosts look all that different millions of years ago? No! I wouldn't think that they do. Why? Okay, you know, actually I'd be a little bit nicer, because I do like this thing a lot. I'll put it B tier, but again, just like the concept, I feel like you could have gone with any other Pokemon for an ancient form, and you're giving us Amoonguss, Magneton, Jigglypuff, and Miss Drevis. Pokemon that I'm like, they shouldn't look that different in the ancient past, and if they did, I don't care. Alright, Volcarona unironically goes hard though, that's an A tier. As does Salamence. This actually might be the single best exclusive across both versions, so that's an easy S tier. And wouldn't you know, hey, that's a Pokemon that I think people would actually want to see how it looked in ancient times. So you probably thought, man, Salamence probably looked really dope back in the dinosaur era. Yeah, he did. He's right there. It's awesome. What a great pick. How'd they go so wrong with all the other ones? Okay, Cybernetic Volcarona, it's better than the other ones, so I'll put it in B tier. Iron Hands, you can catch these hands because you're going in D tier. This thing is literally just Hydreigon, but made of metal. I was really hoping that they would lean back into like the beta Hydreigon design where he's like more of a tank, and just kind of reference that, but they didn't. It's just Hydreigon made of metal, and they made his type combination like way less cool. So I feel like F will make people mad. I'll go D. I don't like these two at all. They're lame. Tyranitar, a little bit cooler. Not as cool as Volcarona. I'll go C tier. Delibird, why? Gallade, also a little bit cooler than the rest. Like, I just don't like, I like the Pokemon that they picked for the future forms. I just don't like the future forms. I don't like how they all turn into robots. I feel like the primal forms, the ancient ones, are so much more creative. They just picked the wrong Pokemon. Neither one is winning here. Neither one is winning. Alright, now I'm gonna be honest, this is the only one of the legendary quartet that I've caught so far. I don't really know what to think of him so far. I'll just go B tier. I'm gonna go purely off designs off of these other three, because I actually haven't caught them yet, because the stakes are really hard to find. Anyway, this guy looks dope. This is the first I've seen of this Pokemon. I'm just seeing this teeny tiny little PNG, and that's enough for me to put him in A tier. If I see him in game, maybe he'll go up to S, but for now, A. This guy, he looks kind of cool. I'll also go A tier. This guy, is this even a legendary? What is this? This looks like a baby Volcarona. This looks like Larvesta. I don't know. I can't be too harsh. You know, actually I will. C tier. Koraidon. And everybody who hates in the neck tire, screw you. You are dumb. It's called design element. He's not actually a motorcycle. It's okay that he runs on all fours. If you picked Violet because he runs on all fours, you are weak. I just want you to know that. Anyway, Koraidon is an A tier, and I think they really develop him pretty well in the story, and they probably do the same thing for Miraidon as well. Miraidon, he kind of grew on me. Not quite as good as Koraidon. I still like him, though. I'll go B tier. And everything else is duplicates, so yeah, that's about it. But yeah, I will do one last scan of the tier list. Obviously, these are not ranked within tiers. I just kind of place them wherever. And, yeah, I know that a ton of people on the internet are now going to be mad at me, and that is A-okay, because what else is new? And, yeah, that's it. I promise you that I will have actual Scarlet and Violet videos coming out in the near future. I know this was a super scuffed video. It's probably the worst video that I've made all year, but that's okay. We're just gonna move on. Anyhow, be sure to subscribe if you want to see more videos just like this one, and I'll see you guys next time.